That's it. It'll be a good time, so. feel pretty
Oh,
good.
it's 6:33.
Lighter than a lot you got for.
We got enough?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I call the plan commission meeting to an order? Call, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Theseus,
Yes, here.
Commissioner Johnson,
Here.
Commissioner Francois, Commissioner Brochus, Trustee Brunner,
Here.
Trustee Kettlebeater,
Here,
Village President Langfeld.
I have the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. This is a public comment meeting. This is the opportunity for anyone to address the Plan Commission on any issue. Please observe the time limit of 3 minutes. While the Plan Commission encourages input from residents, it may not discuss or act on any issue that is not duly noticed on this agenda. Those wishing to speak during the meeting are encouraged to register prior to the start of the meeting. You may also register your comment by sending an email to and ahead of the meeting. Do we have anybody on that would like to? We got Sonia on. Who's Brendan?
There for the item on the CSM.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to talk at a time? No?
Any public comment?
The comment? I would say no. Do I have an approval of the minutes for the September 3rd meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from September 3rd.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, number 2, discussion and possible action regarding certified survey man. CSM drafts, JT Engineer and Prairie Hills Partners LLC.
Yeah, so I can just kind of give an intro on this. So I put a memo together today. So this is regarding a total of 4 parcels that are along Market Street. And so I have those included here in the packet. This is one of them. And so the 4 parcels, this is all by JT Engineering, who was contracted by Prairie Hill Partners, and they're wanting to combine those parcels. So the western 2 parcels are proposed to be combined into a single parcel, and then the eastern parcels, which I have on another page as well, are proposed to be combined into a single parcel as well. So there would be 2 addresses affiliated. And so right now they're a lumber and building materials company, except for the southernmost point of the parcel, which is an auto shop. And so they're hoping to combine the lots just for ease of operation, management, and simplicity of title. So I know we have James on here and Brendan on here as well. So if you'd like to add anything I'm missing.
Good evening. Thank you, Carly. This is James Cappert. I'm the surveyor working for Prairie Hill Partners, Zern Building Products, and Brendan represents Zern and Prairie Hill. I think you covered it well. It's sort of a little bit of a mess out on the site, and in terms of several tax parcels and sort of the operations don't really align with the interior boundary lines of the tax parcels. So at this time, Zern is just kind of looking to create more continuity and simplicity in their ownership of title and align more so with the operations of the facilities. They do have a car dealer as a tenant right now. That was inherited through a purchase of the entire lumberyard recently, and is something that will, I believe, Brennan, you can pipe in here, but will not continue beyond the current lease.
That's correct, James. Current lease expires in September of 2026. And the intent at this time is to not renew the lease once that lease term expires.
Any other discussion?
Just out of curiosity, it's nothing like based on how I would vote or anything, but just out of curiosity, is the plan for the lumber yard to expand a little bit?
There is nothing.
Wait and see.
Yeah, there's nothing currently planned. I think, when upon purchase of the parcels, I think there was lots of questions as to where the lot lines were, what setbacks existed, so on and so forth. And I think the last survey or recent survey that was done was somewhere, around the late 80s, early 90s. And then, many different surveys making up those different parcels and how they come together. So I think working with James and his team, just one of the recommendations is, hey, for continuity purposes and in future management, let's get everything on one map, because again, I think the intent is to exist there as a lumberyard and building materials supplier. So no plans for any sort of building or anything at this time.
Thank you. I was just curious.
Yep.
Yeah, this is maybe a question for Sonia or Carly. Does this trigger anything, does the CSM request trigger anything regarding our current zoning?
I can chime in there. No, I don't see anything here that triggers the current zoning because these are all existing buildings and they're simply combining the parcels, not changing the exterior lot lines. So where there are non-conformances of the structures in comparison to the lot lines, those are just continuation of existing conditions. And the zoning ordinance would then apply if they were to, say, tear down those buildings and rebuild, then they would have to follow the zoning code for that section.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other comments? Questions? Do I have a motion?
I would make a motion to approve the combining the parcels as presented.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposing sign. Motion approves. Number 3, discussion of, thank you guys. Number 3, discussion of possible action on Village Comprehensive Plan, Chapter 2, which is yours first, right, Kevin?
Yeah, thank you. I sent around, suggested verbiage for chapter 2, added mostly the biggest change was adding the recreational section to the comp plan. And I really just used the former, I guess, existing park and open space plan to gather that information. I pared it way down because it was a little too much, but I basically summarized the park and open space plan. I do understand that the park and open space plan is being updated, and so this may need to be updated when that happens. I suspect that the park and open space plan will finish prior to us finishing this, so we may want to revisit this in the future, but I guess the gist is there, and I answered some of, we had answered some of these questions last time, some of the bigger questions. I left the comments in there, but I didn't recommend any changes. They were just sort of food for thought, so I just left them in there for now. I only recommended changes where we have, where I've, actually used track changes and moved some stuff around. I deleted a big chunk of that agricultural part. We discussed a lot of that last time, right, which was 2 months ago now. But again, it's food for thought. I did move the one part out and put it in recreation. I'm sorry, in land use. Sorry, land use. And yeah, forget the highlights. Those are just notes from my own reading. And that's it. I think. No. So I don't know how you guys want to attack it. If you've read it, I only turned it into Carly on Friday. So
Yeah, I think we've made like I'm voting on directionally,
yeah.
not final T's crossed and I's dotted, right?
Mhm.
So I read through it, thought it was fine.
Do you want to make a general approval then, and then just like as we get to the end and we start crossing Ts and dotting Is, we'll have to, I think Sonia and her team too would have to put a heavy eye on some of that too.
Yeah.
Maybe you, Carly, too,
Mhm.
in your position, but.
Sonia, do you have any comments?
I don't at this time. Happy to kind of review in detail anything that the village wants me to take a look at specifically, but I haven't haven't worked with Carly to identify if I'll be playing a big role in this yet or not. So happy to do that whenever.
I'm probably ready. We'll give you a new bus. So do you think we need to make a motion tonight to approve it, or how are we doing this? I'm not sure if it's clear.
I don't remember if we made a motion last time, I just said direction, maybe we're good with it, I can't recall.
I think we should get something in the minutes,
Yeah,
whatever we can
definitely.
say, make sure it makes the minutes.
So I can make a motion that the board directionally approves chapter 2 and the updates. The
Commission.
commission.
Second,
All in favor, say aye. All opposed, same sign. Passes. Okay, Seth, you were chapter 4.
All right, so I'm gonna jump ahead to the page in the PDF that goes there towards the end. So I had chapter 4, which is the transportation section. So I went through in-track changes, and all my highlighted colors might not make sense, so I'll try to walk through what my thought was, get some feedback. So it looks like page 178 of the
Perfect.
PDF.
Thank you. There we are. Chapter 4.
So for the part in the box at the top, the original 3 recommendations, were, I didn't change, sure, I left. I don't know if we still want to do all those things, like conduct a downtown parking study, if that's a carryover from the last one, I just left it there for now. And then I highlighted I tried to pull out recommendations kind of from later in the chapter, just linking cross planes, I should say, I guess I can't say. The regional transportation systems, we had there's a lot of comments in here about, bus and rail and multi-use trails and things, and so just kind of an overall comment about we're trying to connect in all these different modes to the rest of our neighbors here. So most of the changes under existing transportation facilities are because since this was last updated, the county has redone their classification system. So we still have arterials and collectors and local streets, but now some of them have changed classification, what's in cross lane. So I tried to update it based on what the current map is to say what Dane County claims are our different levels of roadways. And so that's pretty much what all of that text is, that it just kind of matches how they describe those different roadways. So nothing real big in there, just it's now more current. And then the traffic volumes, again, I just pulled off the Wisconsin DOT site, added a column for 2022 where there's only a couple of values, and deleted, I forgot what the previous year was, but like 2008. So I deleted one column and added on the most recent one. Plus I saw that there was a typo in the Church Street one. It was actually 5,400 and not 4,500 back, whatever. So those are just simple changes. Can we scroll down then? So then the next few pages are just kind of, again, describing kind of the existing conditions. And so just a few minor changes. I pointed out that WSOR operates the rail line, but it's actually owned by the state. It's not owned by the railroad. But they operate it under lease. Updated for the airport, we have a few new airlines. So I'll just try to make it more current. Same thing with pedestrian and bicycle transportation. We have new paths, we've got new developments with sidewalks. So I try to just add kind of where we have some paths now. Keep going. This I didn't update, but I just said we're gonna need to update this based on the most recent census data. So I think I just have a comment, update. So I didn't tackle that one yet. And now this next section was all the different regional plans. So the Wisconsin State Highway Plan, that's, it says 2020, that was a forward-looking document from a long time ago, so that's obsolete now, so I just deleted that section. Updated for the highway improvement program is what the DOT uses. They look out 6 years and they try to say, okay, these are the major projects that we're gonna fund over the next 6 years, and the local MPO kind of controls that. And so I just looked, and there's nothing directly in Cross Plains in the 6-year program, which makes sense because Highway 14 was just recently rebuilt. But I did point out, oh yeah, I just deleted the stuff about Evansville and Spring Green, because I don't think we care about that. So then the current Wisconsin DOT long range plan is now called Connect 2050. And so what they've done now is, instead of just having it one document where they try to update everything, they're basically trying to say, well, this plan is really a collection of all these different modal plans, airport plans and transit plans, et cetera, active transportation. So now the overall document, they kind of link to these other documents with the intent of updating those more frequently. And so they don't have to go back and update the big plan every time. So I just tried to kind of summarize what the new plan really involves. And then as you go down below, we highlight some of those individual plans. The one at the bottom of the screen now, the Connect Greater Madison 2050, that's the MPO's plan specifically for the region. And so it still talks about establishing a regional express bus network in Cross Plains as well as many other communities. And then it also has talking about the new shared use path system, like a Good Neighbor Trail, et cetera, coming from Middleton out through Cross Plains to Mazo up to Sauk City. And they also identify Cross Plains as a spot to look for a new parking lot. So those were the 3 kind of big things that came out of the local MPO's plan. Transport 2020, that's the old commuter rail plan that they had 15 years ago or whatever. So that I highlighted in red, I recommend just deleting it because it's kind of obsolete at this point. Same thing, the old Dane County Land Use and Transportation Plan, it's old now. So I just recommend deleting that part. Airport System Plan, again, the only thing that really may affect areas, they do talk about significant improvements at Middleton. And we know if you follow that, there's a lot of controversy between the town and the city of Middleton. It's just something that we should note, though, that they, from the state's perspective, they think they should put a lot of money in there and maybe a new runway and et cetera. So same thing with the rail plan. The only thing affecting us is they do recommend basically replacing all the rail itself on the entire length from Madison to Spring Green. They call it continuously welded rail, which basically will be smoother and quieter. So hopefully that would help with noise and other issues. The bicycle transportation plan, even though it says 2015, that's still the most recent one for the MPO. So they specifically talk about the Good Neighbor Trail, so that's unchanged. I left in the part about the bicycle facility standards, just because again, that comes out of an old plan, but when we're talking about this new path, that may or may not still apply. So I left it in for now. Keep it going down. Okay, so then these last 2, the state is now combining these bicycle and pedestrian policy plans into one. They're calling it an active transportation plan, but that's currently being updated according to their website. That they were supposed to be kind of far along now, but then when you go and you look, there's no draft, there's no meeting notices or anything. So I don't know if that has actually gotten underway yet, but that's just something we'll want to follow. And by the time we finalize this plan, maybe the state will have a new active transportation plan out. Okay, so that's all the kind of the background stuff. Now, when we get into the goals, objectives, and policies, I thought for the most part, they were pretty good. I just thought maybe they're missing a couple pieces. This one, again, Transport 2020, that's kind of a specific thing that's obsolete. So I just recommend deleting it and just saying, let's continue to coordinate and cooperate with regional efforts. Same thing, policy. I took out commuter rail and light rail and just said rail. If that ever happens, the format is to be determined. And then, same thing, number 9, just said. We don't need to list specifics here, it's just complement our local streets. So then down here, I added 2 at the bottom, at least that I'm recommending, is that anytime we have street reconstruction projects, we should look at provisions for adding sidewalks or paths, kind of like what we did with Brewery Road, where feasible. I'm not saying we have to do it every time, but we've got lots of streets that have no sidewalks, and so if we have opportunities, I think that's something we should have in our policies. And then one that I thought might be a little more controversial is exploring opportunities to add new paved trails and existing parks and conservancies. Even like, I'm just thinking like, could we pave a path through Bear Park so that people crossing P, where that crossing is right now by the playground, like maybe a paved path between the baseball fields up to the school to connect to that path, or through some of our conservancy areas right now where we have all these pieces of trails, and maybe we have unpaved trails. Can we look at filling in some gaps? To get some more off-street bicycle friendly.
And that means,
Sure.
that might be good if they do the pool over there.
Yeah,
They put, so the kids wouldn't have to go this way around, or
right,
if they.
up to military and then backtrack, yeah. It's like, so we're doing all these things with new construction that are giving us pieces, and now we have to try to connect them all with our existing network that doesn't have them. So those are the 2 policies that I thought we should consider adding. I don't know if they are goals, I guess. Well, the goals are the same, those are the policies. I don't know if anyone has anything else, or comments on those.
I like them. I think they're worth consideration. I also would like another one, or see if we could fit one in somehow, partner with Milton. We share a school district, we have good police partnership, we could have more chamber partnership, but they have a trolley that drives around empty all the time. It'd be sweet if it made a run or 2 here to bring people to our businesses and back and forth. I just think there's an opportunity there before Madison helps us out with the bigger bus regional plan. I think we could reach out, and I think it would do well for both communities.
Okay, so specifically there.
Specifically someone.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I like these, Seth. This number 15, you could add drainage areas. I
Yeah.
thought that was, and we have this, essentially the same one appears in the new rec section, so. Does both rec and transportation.
Okay, yeah, no, that's a good point. I was just thinking things like places that are publicly owned where we have an opportunity to add some stuff in.
And up top, you had said that the parking study is done. I did it with a group.
Okay,
As unprofessional maybe as it was a study that we presented. And it came back to the same result, which I see is still kept in there, which is we need, some sort of parking is still necessary downtown Main Street area.
okay,
And that's still in there. So I would recommend getting rid of that in the box up top. Just get rid of it.
okay, yeah, that's, I left it because I wasn't sure if that was something that was done.
Yeah, it was done.
Okay.
And I don't know where we want to put this, and we kind of talked about the last board meeting, but we need another road. So where the high school is, or where the,
East of Glacier.
east of Glacier, we need some other way that can get out in case of emergencies. I mean, right now, there's only one. I don't know if that's where we put it, but we need to have some kind of road that can get out, so we have 2 exits there.
Yeah, I heard.
And that's one of the things that we can do with the official map process. And
Right.
actually, we put, I believe when we updated the official map process, I think we added a road over there. And we lined it up with Ballenbeck maybe to try to make it so it came in at a 4-way intersection instead of right now at least.
There's an old field.
Yeah.
And I think they talked about it at the staff meeting with the new development that they want to do at PI, right? But I just want to make sure it gets noted that we really want something done.
Okay.
We need something, I should say.
All right, so then actually it's the tie-in, if you scroll down to the next page then. So now here's where we get into the actual recommendations. So I left all the ones that were previous, and so I suggested, the third one I've highlighted in red. It's for deletion. Realistically, or Is that something that we still think should happen? I think the odds of something like that happening.
Which one?
Sorry, the elevated pedestrian bridge. And it says on Highway KP. I'm assuming that meant crossing like 14 at KP or something?
Well, before they redid that bridge, there was no
Yeah,
sidewalk.
it's done.
Right,
It's done. There's a sidewalk there. It's legal. It's
Over the bridge over the creek.
bridge over.
right, that, is that what that bullet was about?
I would think so.
I think.
Just said an elevated crossing on Highway KP.
I was confused with that too, like, did
Yeah.
it mean going over?
That's what I was picturing, like going over like
But
the high,
remember that
over like the
there's a
road.
sign That's a no
Yeah.
walking.
Regardless, I think we wanted to leave.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and then they said we have the parking spot, yeah, I highlighted in yellow again, because I wasn't sure if that was done, so we could. Take that, or we could leave it in there and say, well, we've done a parking study, now.
That's
Are we gonna act on it?
I think it's done. I take it out.
Okay.
The recommendations are still there.
Okay, so delete the last. To. Transportation, system improvement recommendations.
I thought it was like 190. That, yeah, next to
Again, kind of do that, fine.
fine. Okay.
That's cheaper.
Then in the official mapping section, since we now have an official map, I tried to change the language to, instead of we should identify one, it's okay, we've got one. And so now this will, it identifies future major and minor streets. I took out the part about P and KP because it's saying that they should be officially mapped with these right of ways, and I think now they are mapped with those right of ways. So I think we can delete what's in red. And then the yellow part I wasn't sure about because I didn't look at the official map in closely enough to know if that's something that we actually have on there. I don't even know if I can find the official map.
Yeah.
But it's something I'll have to look at. And is there anything else that people think should be on the official map that we don't already list or might not already be on? I mean, normally it's main things are where roads should be, how much right of way you want to reserve. Those kinds of things. So. Then you have to keep going down. So at the end of there, it just said, I deleted the part about intending to investigate development of a pedestrian walkway because we have the boardwalk now. And changed it just from saying regional bike route between Madison and Mesa, we're talking about this shared use path. That Main Street, the one that's highlighted development plan for a directional signage system. That's the one again, we started that with Highway 14. We've got some signage that's not specific to 14. Same things along P and up in the middle school, etc. So I didn't know if we could delete that or update the wording of that, like just say like keep updating it, because obviously as we build a new village hall, we're gonna have to update those signs, and we build a new pool. Signs, so wasn't sure how
Definitely
to
update.
just, okay,
I mean, you got it somewhat. You need to stay on it.
yeah.
When you stay behind it too far, it looks.
But then I don't know if there are any of the other recommendations that were already in there that people thought we should get rid of or edit, or if there's ones that aren't on there that people have thought of since since this plan was last updated. I think all those, the points that I didn't highlight are still good points. Shared parking, great work parking, joint site development, etc. So. Then these last four ones, they're highlighting yellow mainly because I just haven't had a chance to dive in to see if those are still the most current plans or things, or if people have other ideas or know of any other programs. Because again, this is like this is transit, specialized transit, paratransit, I guess. These days, I don't even know if all of these still exist now in the days of Uber and Lyft and everything. I just didn't get a chance to see if these are still.
For the most part, they do.
Okay,
Jessica uses.
Okay. So that, yeah, I or someone else needs to just go through and make sure that that stuff is all updated. That's why I had that in call. I think that's the end of the chapter.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so if you, I guess if we go back up to the very beginning of this chapter. Can revisit those things in the box, so Kevin already mentioned. We can get rid of the. Yeah, out there, yep, so we can get rid of the parking study, conduct the downtown parking study. That would leave us with kind of. Overall recommendations, I don't know. Anyone else has anything else? They think should be highlighted, so people that look at this and they say, that's the one thing we want them to look at in this section, that's what goes in that box. So.
I'd be bold, but I would say, create some sort of downtown parking. And some sort of nexus down there that's. I'll just, period.
Okay.
Create some.
So change, conduct a study to not do.
Yeah, do what the findings said, which is find some sort of downtown parking.
Okay.
Which partially could be the village.
Yeah, right, which is both in policy with practice with the developer and also, us taking a little more active stance.
But you're meaning like with the village halls, maybe that's gonna extra part.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And that's in process.
Right.
But
we still need some on the other side of 14.
Awesome.
is that parking study available on our website somewhere, or can someone send it to me if you have it? Then I can look through it and see if there's anything else there.
I'll be happy to look for it.
Okay.
Put together a tool.
Any other questions for discussion? I think Seth, you did a good job.
Yeah, really did.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is your baby. This is your
One thing I
baby.
should know is something about.
And if you would take my spot on the board, you could cultivate that baby and bring it to term. And see it grow.
No, I think the connecting, and that was a really good idea with Middleton too, I think. Even if people could take their bikes,
Absolutely.
and then they can bike to work or wherever, just getting people to Middleton would just. And high school students and, just great.
Yeah, if I'm in Middleton, that trolley drives around.
It's awesome.
Make a longer loop, and there could be some fun.
Do you know who funds that? Is
It's
that funded by
chamber
the
and
city?
part of the tour,
Okay.
but the city ultimately directs it.
I mean, I wonder if there might be grants to apply for like the environmental impact of reduce, there might be a lot of people that could, if it ran enough.
Right.
And circled through, you throw your bike on it like you do on some of the buses or whatever. Maybe they do.
Is it free? Is the trolley
is.
free? Oh, okay.
I think it was part of the room tax stuff, and then the chamber. I don't know was involved and engaged when it started. You don't seem to be.
People might ask what to stop.
The whisperer.
Right.
So it doesn't stop it.
On the first round, do we make a motion?
They jump off there.
I don't think so.
I
We
don't think
just,
so, because we didn't. we haven't-
yeah, I think we just got feedback and then we
Yeah.
updated it at the next
Exactly.
meeting and then.
Yep.
Then we do
Sounds
the
great.
Yeah.
general approval.
Yeah.
What we did tonight.
One thing that I wanted to do though, that I meant to do at the beginning of it, I wanted to introduce Carly, and I'm sorry, I
No,
wanted
it's
to go
okay.
around and have everybody introduce themselves to Carly and go ahead. Seth, everybody.
I'm Seth Johnson. I've been on the planning commission for, I don't know, 3 years or something now, but I was involved a long time ago in the economic development committee. I've lived here for 21 years now. And I'm a traffic engineer by trade, so why the transportation part was particularly interesting to me, but I very interested in just kind of general, city planning, land use, those kind of things. So this is like the perfect committee for me to be on and get to touch on all those things. So And I live up on Laufenberg, so I've. As everyone else knows here, I walk a lot. And so I've definitely taken on kind of a role of like looking for places we can improve our pedestrian friendliness in the village here, so.
Thanks, Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sarah Francewell.
Hi, Sarah.
Lived in Cross Plains since 2015. And I have two kids, one's at Glacier, one's at Middleton High School. Active on the swim team and the biking trails and, I was on the village board for 2 terms and was asked to come join on the planning commission, and professionally, I'm a social worker, so I like to bring that perspective of people who, you know, underserved or unmet needs for people in the community, and also always hand on the long-term environmental health impacts of decisions we make in the village. Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Thanks,
Sorry I
Sarah.
was late today.
Oh, you're fine.
We
No.
don't.
Yeah.
Carl came to my office, we got to talk a little bit, but
Yeah.
I will add, I almost hit south at the corner of, Laufenberg and, Brewery just moved like an hour ago. We definitely need more paths along Laufenberg. My kids go, oh, he's got to walk something. No, but in all seriousness, I think I told you, but I was on board for 4 years as well, and been on the planning commission for the last 3, I think, yeah. And it was on the planning commission before I got on board too, so it's been something I've really enjoyed to work on, so.
Thanks.
And Kevin and I are from the same high school. So
Yeah.
Really?
We go back, we're
What high school?
Cedarburg.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was right between him and his younger brother.
Yeah, I'm old. If you couldn't figure that
I
out.
wasn't gonna.
No.
North Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's maybe
Didn't we
6
just have an
miles.
Oktoberfest in
They
Cedarburg?
did,
that
yeah,
everybody
they have
went to, I
a
know?
harvest and music and harvest fest or something like
Strawberry.
That's the big thing.
spring, yeah. Good place.
Why did I think you're from Spencer Rapids, but that's Kevin, Ingo, or Ingo.
Maybe,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Doug Brunner, we've talked,
Yeah.
4th term on the board. Most of my professional work has been as a training manager or regional salesperson. Welcome.
Thanks.
I think we're gonna continue with work. Speaking of festivals, we need a festival. So when I get off the board, I think I can work on that.
You go for it.
Nice.
We've talked before too.
Yeah.
I'm born and raised in Cross Plains, but on the board way too long, and but I've been on planning for a long, long time, and I do enjoy planning. It's my favorite. It is, yeah. Yep. It is. But welcome, we're happy to have you.
Thank you.
Where are you from?
Yeah, I'm from Marshfield, is where I grew up, and then I went to undergrad in Oshkosh, where I studied sociology, and then I lived in Milwaukee for about 6 years. I was working in human resources for a couple of organizations there, a couple of nonprofits, and then decided I wanted to do something in government. So I started working for the city of Oak Creek, Milwaukee area, and then ended up in Sun Prairie, and now I'm here. So been all over the state, only like Wisconsin.
Good choice.
Yeah.
And that's not very well.
We're very, very happy to have you. Okay, then good promotion for adjournment. Unless somebody has anything else.
I'll motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. We're done. 7:15, gang.
45.
But we started a little late.